This case that I'm going to talk to you about, Simon, is one that happened some years ago when I was in CIB. One afternoon, a lady turned up at the CIB office to say that she'd just seen her leather coat that had been stolen some time before being worn by a woman down the street. And I guess it's sort of a case where time has caught up with the offender. As the woman spoke to me, she told me that she'd had a burglary on her house, and some of the things that had been stolen were some jewellery, some lipstick and a leather coat. When I asked her how did she identify the leather coat as being hers, she said that it had a panel down the side which was a slightly different grey colour to the rest of the coat. And she said that she saw the woman wearing it, and she decided that she would follow the lady and see where she went. So she followed this lady down Queen Street and eventually into a large building and up several floors to the 6th or 7th floor of this building. And she saw this lady go into a firm and go to a desk and take the coat off and hang it up. So she decided, well, she must work there. So then she came up to the police station to tell me all about it. Naturally, I was a little bit suspicious that maybe this woman had definitely her coat, etc.
Yeah.
Because
it's pretty distinctive.
Well, it's not usual to have someone identify their stolen property being worn around the street by somebody else.
Not at all.
No. So I got the file out of records and looked it up, and everything that the woman had told me was exactly as it had been recorded by the police at the time, including the description of the leather coat. So I said, well, let's go down and see this lady. So off we went, and she took me upstairs to this floor, and she pointed out the woman, said, there's the woman over there, and there's the coat hanging up on a coat hanger. So I said, all right, that's good. You go home, etc. I said, carry on with your day. I'll let you know what happens. So off she went. So I went in and spoke to the manager of the firm and said, look, I was investigating an ancient theft burglary complaint, and I wanted to speak to that woman over there. Did he mind if I took her away for an hour or so and find out what she could tell me? So he agreed, of course. So I approached the lady and took her back to the police station, told her I was investigating a theft and a burglary and she might be able to help me with my inquiries. Back at the station, I sat her down, and basically, in essence, she told me that she'd been given the coat by her husband 6 or 7 months ago as a present. And I said, do you know where he got it from? And she said, no, I assumed he might have bought it second hand from somewhere or whatever. So I told her, well, actually it was stolen in a burglary, and the woman has identified the coat, and I'll have to seize it at the moment until we can establish definitely that it was the stolen coat, and I'll have to go and see your husband. And I said, incidentally, where is your husband? She said, well, he's in hospital with a broken leg. I said, well, you can let him know I'll be coming to see him.
Can't go anywhere.
Well, that was my thought. So wrote up my notes, and a day or two later went and saw the husband in bed, and he was there with a broken leg, as she told me. And the wife had already told him the sad news. So I said, well, what have you got to say about it? And he said, well, I work for a government department and I'm under a contract, and I didn't like the work and I wanted to leave, but they wouldn't let me go until I'd finished the contract. He said, I thought I would commit a few burglaries and the police would find out, they'd arrest me, and then I'd be able to lose my job. They'd sack me because they didn't want me in their job. And I said, well... Extreme
measures.
I said, that's pretty extreme, buddy. And he said, well, yeah, actually I like the job now, I want to stay. So I said, well, all your Sundays have come at once because it's not looking good. I'll have to charge you with this when you get out, and we'll see what happens and where it goes. And I said, well, what about the other burglaries? So he told me there were 2 other burglaries that he had committed as well. So I went to the house and recovered those. There were some hairdresser type items and things like that. And so in due course he got charged and pleaded guilty, and the property got returned to the lady. But I thought to myself, I shook my head, I just couldn't figure this guy out. I thought that's a weird way to go about losing your job.